guys? It is Carl Brown for GL365.com. Got a great track for you today. We're going to learn how to play Tangerine by Led Zeppelin. Now I'm just going to do the acoustic guitar parts to this one, not all the slide solos and stuff. Really just doing this lesson because just for a good excuse to use my new Faith 12-string acoustic. So I'm having fun with this baby this past couple days, so I thought I would crank out a 12-string song for you guys, and this one got requested probably the most, so let's do it. It's a pretty simple one too, so it shouldn't take too long to get down. Before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you know I release a new video, and check out my Guitar Academy. It's at guitarlessons365.com. It's got all my guitar courses that covers tons of topics, from improvisation to guitar tone to guitar technique, ear training and theory. So it's all there for you under one roof, just one subscription, and you get to access all the courses. So please go to Guitar Lessons 365 and check it out. All right, so let's jump into this. Now I'm in standard tuning, and I also have a 12-string, and you can play it on a 6-string. Just kind of follow along on a 6-string if you don't have a 12-string. Just won't sound so jingly-jangly, but I think that's an actual audio technician term, jingly-jangly. Anyway, but standard tuning is what they're in, but on the recording it sounds about 40 cents flat. What that means is it's almost a quarter step flat. So what I had to do is I had to put it in some, transcription software that I was able to raise it back up to standard pitch. But it probably was recorded in standard, and then the old analog machines kind of pulled too slow, and it decreased the tempo a little bit. So let's just jump into it. So we have this intro that I just played. That's also the verse of the song. So we're going to start out with an A minor chord, and I'm going to strum across basically to the B string, because I want this, the notes on the B string are going to be the melody notes, so you kind of want to hear that as the highest note. So you strum across to the B string, so standard A minor, and then you add the 3rd fret, making an A sus4 chord so you add the 3rd fret there on the B string, and then back down to regular A minor. And then we just have the open string, and it kind of just, you can hit the D, G, and the B string open there as you transition to a G major chord. So it kind of looks like this. And then we go to a G major. So it's the G major version of G major where you have the 3rd note on the B string held as well. And then we go to a D major chord. So when he strums that D major, he's going to kind of accent. He strums it a couple times. And then he's going to hit the D string or D strings. And then kind of accents that string. So it looks like this. All right, then we kind of start over. So you basically do that twice. So remember the transition, he kind of hits the strings open between the transitions of the chords. So after you've done it twice, then it goes to a C chord. So a basic C major chord, you strum the chord once, and then we have this. So on that C, what you're doing here is you're going to pick as you're holding the C chord, you're going to pick the A string, and then the D. Then you're going to pick across the A and D again, all the way to the G. And then what I like to do is you're going to hit the G string twice. So you go A, D, G, G. And how I'm doing it is just down, 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 up. So you can alternate pick if you want. It's just I like to kind of do economy picking with stuff like that. So we have this. And then what we do is we basically just lift up these two fingers. So we're still holding the first finger, you can let that still ring, but then you're going to go play the second fret on the A string, and then the open D and open G, and do the same picking pattern you just did. So it's A, D, and then the G twice. So like this. So C, then you just hit A, D, and then pick those two picking patterns. And then we go back to the A minor. Little strum there, pause, G, then D. So far we have this. This is the end of the this riff. After you got the D, we're gonna go. So we just move it from to a D sus4. So you're adding the third fret there on the high E string, then back down to a regular D, then a D sus2 by just lifting up the note that's on the high E string to make it the open high E string, and then back down with that regular D chord. All right, so they play through that whole verse, what we just did, twice. So first time just instrumentally, the second time the vocals come in. All right, so so you basically play through the exact same thing, the exact same way twice, and then we have the chorus, which starts at the 54-second mark. It sounds like this. So that starts with a little pickup, C to D. And then we get to the actual chorus chord progression, which is just G to D, down to C, and back to a D. So it's just G, D, C, D. Just repeat that. The last time, hold the G a little longer, then go G, D. So I just kind of held that G a little longer, and then I went to G to D, and then the D sus4 back to the D, and then the D sus4 back to the D. So one more time for the chorus here. So we have this. All right, so after that, we go back to the same verse rhythm that we did before, that we started the song with. And then out of that, so it's the exact same that we did at the beginning of the tune, so nothing new to learn there. And then we have one of the first solo there, which I'm not going to do the solo like I talked about. I'm just going to do the acoustic guitar parts, the chords. So this is at the 1 minute and 40-second mark, so it sounds like this. So that starts with an A minor to a C. Now, when I play this C chord, I'm going to add the fifth in the bass. It sounds like he's doing that, which Jimmy Page did a lot anyway. So So that's just a C major chord, but we're going to add the G in the bass, the 3rd fret on the 6th string with it. So you're going to have to hold this a little bit differently. To a D chord, D major. And then we go to an F chord. Now, you can leave out the bottom note if you want. It still sounds fine. It's fine without it, but most likely he's adding the 1st fret there on the low E string played with his thumb. So that would basically be 1st fret on the B, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the D, 3rd fret on the A, and then you're going to get this F there on the with your thumb. So we have basically from the A minor, that C with the G in the bass, D, F. And then you make sure when you're strumming that F, don't hit that high E string. Either bar it here or just kind of don't strum the high E string. So then we have just E major, back to the F, back to the E, back to the F, and that takes us back to the C. And we have that same ending right here. We quickly go to a G from that C, and then go that G to D, sus4 to D. So just D sus4 to D, D sus4 to D. The same ending that we did there in the chorus, basically. So that from that E, so when we get to the F there, all right, so just from that. All right, so then we go back into the chorus from there. All right, from there we have the interlude section coming out of the chorus. We just do the chorus the same way we did before. I just call this an interlude or whatever. This is at the 2-minute and 25-second mark. So that is based around just a D major chorus. We just have this. So that's basically just a D chord. Strum it once when you first hit that section at the 225 mark. And then we do a down, up, down. You're going to end up doing 6 of those down, up, downs there. So 6 of those, and then after you get to through those 6, you start going in towards basically the end of the verse. Except you just, instead of doing it once, you do it like 4 times. And that takes us to the outro, which is at the 2-minute and 55-second mark, and that sounds like this. Cool stuff. So that A minor chord strummed twice. And then what you're gonna do is just kind of hit the 3rd fret there on the low E string once, and then you strum kind of really the open D, G, and the B strings. So, and then same thing. Keep strumming those same 3 strings. But now add the 1st fret there on the B, and then the 3rd fret on the B. So it's this. So it is. So after those 2 A minors, all right, then we have this. So that is going to be the 3rd fret there on the D string, 2nd fret on the G, open B. So strum those 3 strings, and then you're going to hit the B string again after that. And then move it up to the 1st fret there on the B. So this. And then you can kind of hear him hit the D string and the G string there. We're still holding the F chord there. Just like that. So. And then we're going to end the song with this. So that's going to be the 3rd fret on the high E string and 1st fret on the B, and then the open G string. And then you're going to pick the B string open and then the G string open. So this. And then from there, jump up here and play harmonics across the 12th fret on the D, G, and the B string. So this. So for the whole outro. Alright, some beautiful guitar stuff in there, especially if you have a 12 string. It sounds fantastic. Still getting my head around listening to a 12 string guitar. It's pretty new to me, but so everything just sounds huge, so it's really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.